Cheers, and don't mind me. Just gonna relax here in my retirement recliner, except for the fact that I'm wearing a claw clip. God, that's the worst. Honestly, I'm gonna take it out just to film this. Greetings, loved ones, and welcome back to another vlog. I really want this video to serve as a sort of half renovation vlog, but also half R&R vlog. And by R&R, I mean, of course, rest and relaxation. I guess it'll be triple R, renovations, rest and relaxation. It's been a minute since I caught you up on what's going on inside of the house, renovations wise. I did a secret vlog for Patreon and I sort of talked about some of the renovations that we've pivoted to after finishing the second bathroom downstairs, but that went up a couple of weeks ago and I just feel like a lot has been filmed since then, and I might even split this footage up into two separate vlogs, honestly, because the old ball and chain's been filming a lot and I'm just sort of sifting through that footage and then also trying to remind myself that it's summer. God forbid it's summer, and I'm just out here in my recliner. These were a Father's Day present from me to him, and they've been pretty good. You know, they recline all the way. Oh yeah, well, not all the way to where you're lying flat, but you can go pretty flat, and so we can stargaze in them. They've got an incredible little cup holder, two cup holders actually. A slot for your phone, a slot for a book. I mean, really, what more could you want? Hi, Larry. He just wanted to join today. He's been digging himself a dirt bed underneath the camera. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit in this video. So let's rewind to my last video, which was an intimacy after baby Q&A. Since then, we have started to do stuff on our honey-do list that has just been pushed onto the back burner for many months. And one of those things was fixing some rot in our siding of our house. So Finley chipped away at that while Corvidia and I were out on the town for like an extended period of time. Because he exposed that wall, there was electrical behind it, and he loves electrical work and also knew that it needed some upgrading. So then in this vlog, he's going to be showing you a bunch of those like electrical renovations, which I feel like to some people may be a little bit boring, but honestly, I get inspired while watching Finley talk about this stuff because he actually really likes electrical, and it's not as boring as like sanding and drywall and painting.
This is a little context for what I'm about to talk about, but please look at this beautiful 200 amp panel. Look at all these empty slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Empty slots. That's 18 new circuits that I can add to this house at my will, whenever I want, without any complication or needing to overthink it. So I'm going to take advantage of that new opportunity. Today, I'm splitting the circuit that I'm messing with right now, which is why the lights are killed, because it affects this. So basically all the lights in this basement area, half the lights in my garage area, a fan and light upstairs, and a wire that extends to where the deck will hypothetically be one day. All of that was on the same circuit as also all the outlets in the garage, which has generally very heavy loads. You know, I'm often running a vacuum, power tools, charging batteries, that kind of stuff. That's a lot on one circuit, and I've actually had a lot of issues with that circuit in the past, so I'm going to split off the lights now, make that their own circuit. All those lights should still be fine. It's going to be a 20 amp circuit because that's what all the wiring is going to be. But I just wanted to show that. This is awesome to have this. We got solar panels, and the guys installing that, we had them upgrade to a 200 amp service, so just super stoked about that. I understand this probably isn't necessarily, I guess it's artistic lighting, one might say. But as you can see, I've cut a nice little window in here. It's not going to stay a window. Right now it's more just a hole in the wall, but that will get patched up. I'm glad to see back here, really the rot doesn't look, I mean there is none. It's all good to go. So I just wanted to cut this out, A, to get a look, and B, I needed to get access to this wiring for some of the other stuff I'm going to fix upstairs. I want to pull these wires through this plate and stuff like that. Upstairs we have a light switch that affects the lights down here in the basement, but there's only a switch upstairs. You can't actually turn them on and off from down here, which is not the code. It's just not convenient, which is another very important consideration. So I'm going to go ahead and swap those to three-way switches. So I'm going to take this box out, add a double gang box, add a three-way switch here, a three-way switch upstairs. In that process, run, a line back to my breaker box back there to add this new circuit for all these lights. I can patch this back up once I get this electrical settled. It's fun, it's nice. One thing I wanted to mention is if you have lights on a 20 amp circuit, which is not to code. In regular electrical, you're supposed to have your lights on one circuit, your outlets on another circuit. But if a total hack did your work, they may have put them all on one circuit and made it a 20 amp circuit. In that case, you need to get 15/20 amp light switches that they sell at Home Depot, but like standard light switches are always 15 amp. So double check that if that's how your house works, because I'm realizing now that, I mean, luckily I've already replaced most of the switches in this house, but there's, you know, a few others. So I just got a bunch of the 20 amp switches just because it's easier to swap the light switches than neuter everything down to 15 amp circuits. So, because you could also just swap the 20 amp breaker for a 15 amp breaker, but then you're lowering the whole capacity and you've got like oversized wire and it's, you know, not as good a trade-off. So a better idea to just buy new light switches in my opinion. So that's what I'm doing. I'll just show you some of the beautiful stuff I'm working with here. A, you know, hell of an insulating job, buddy. B, this is just prime right here. I mean, what the fuck is this? It just pisses me off sometimes when I'm like, why would you do that? And I didn't even show you. I already dismantled this. Some of you would be horrified. Well, just preemptively to show you like how easy. So the box that we're going to is like right up here. So you could easily just run a wire down here. No need to do anything else. That's where it was going to end up anyways, but here's what he did do. He ran the wire from this box down, put a hole through the stuff here, routed that around the corner into the wing over here, you know, putting holes through all this structural stuff for no reason. He made this, which I'm like, damn, I'm shocked he went through the effort to do something nice to cover it. Well, A, there's a snake skin in here, which is mildly disturbing. The wire came out here after making that corner. No box, just a loose wired out of connection, not even taped. Literally exposed hot wires. Then routed through here, and then sent back through more structural wood just to poke out, more or less, directly under the box over there. Why? Why would you do that? It's so much extra work. It's so much worse. It's extremely more dangerous. Not to mention you built a snake home. I mean, not building a snake home is bad. That's cool. I like snakes fine, but I don't like them in my walls. Anyways, I cut these wires, but they're not connected to anything, so it was too hard to pull them out. That's another thing. Like the struggle he must have gone through to get these wires through these holes was not easy. All for no purpose whatsoever. About to start the new circuit. Well, I'm getting things wired in here. Just gotta wire these switches up and then hopefully everything will work perfectly and I'll need to adjust nothing. Big moment. This is for the plugs. This is for the lights. It's okay, I don't think they're on. Yes! So unfortunately, I realized that all this wire he was using is a 14 gauge, which is for a 15 amp circuit. So I'm gonna replace all that before I, you know, get all these lights back hooked up, but that tells me it works. Let's see about the basement lights. I mean garage lights. God damn, I'm good. Yes! Gonna flick this, see if the lights are off downstairs. I'm a freaking master homeowner strikes again electrician. Yeah, I know y'all pretty impressed. I really got this whole simple electricity thing down. I honestly have nailed most of my electrical work first try. I like electricity. A lot easier than a lot of other things. It's easier than peel and stick wallpaper, I'll tell you that 100 times over. So if any of y'all have ever done peel and stick wallpaper, don't be afraid to dive into that electrical. I'm gonna turn it back off, the circuit, clean all this stuff up. One thing is I did send this 3-wire up and outside, which you can't really see, but that I just tucked in here. It's that yellow wire in that corner. So it's disconnected from any power. And I'm gonna stick a switch in here just for aesthetics, but it won't do anything. And I'll be able to rewire this all and have it simplified for when I'm ready to get the deck electrical worked out. Now finally this all works, so got all the lights on here.
And it's not as boring as like sanding and drywall and painting.
Just slapping some new drywall up here. It's been a while since I've used some Phillip head screws, and I would just like to remind everybody, if elected as president, my first action will be an executive order banning Phillips head screws everywhere across the world forever. So I put up drywall when doing the bedroom a long time ago, and I'm gonna finish that up while I'm finishing downstairs there. Better to do it all at once. It's been a long time for this. This was a 80% man job right here. Not good enough. So I'm gonna use this Easy Sand 90 stuff again. I'm just gonna do this all with hot mud and then hopefully be able to like sponge it smooth because it's small sections. Well, this will be a riveting watch, I can tell you that.
The thing they've seen 45,000 times.
Nobody will be skipping this part.
Hey, you guys ever seen me do drywalling before? I feel like you have for some reason, but I could be wrong. See, somebody keeps changing my settings, just no matter what I do. I think it's just your big stupid man hand.
Did a little backfilling with the extra I had here. I really did a bad job putting this drywall up, so it's gonna take a lot of work for me to get it to a decent spot to tape and stuff. Battery mercifully died, so y'all didn't have to watch my whole mudding process. I'll be real. When I started doing this, I was just thinking in my head, real easy, just slap up the drywall, mud it, do a little bit of stuff, paint it. But it just feels like an endless amount of steps when I don't care about this at all. I'm ready for it to be done. And then I decided to finish upstairs too, which is good. I need to do that, but it's driving me crazy. I'm like, I have to prime the fucking walls. Then I have to put a finish coat on the fucking walls. Oh, I have to tape the fucking sides next to them first. I have to clean my brush. I have to sand. I have to vacuum the sanding. I mean, drywall kind of sucks. Like, if you look at these walls, sure, I'd have to do 2 coats of stain. Would I enjoy that? Not terribly. But it's just chill work, you know, just listen to my book, whatnot. Drywall, it's probably not even gonna look that good when I'm done, because I suck at drywall. Man, fuck drywall. So I got it painted. I'll do a finish coat up here. Gonna throw the switch plate on and a little trim at the bottom. There's not really any way to get good lighting up here. This wall is slanted out, so I have to do some fancy trim work here to get this proper. And I could do something nicer here, but I've sort of been putting this off. And that's why I hadn't finished this initially, because I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. In this area where the bathroom is, I could bring that wall out. I might just do some different stuff. So I don't wanna get this too perfect until I figure that out. What I've done will make it look a lot better than it did. This is one of the charming aspects of what came with the house. You know, the kind of value we got. Little giraffe house switch plate. Can't find this at Home Depot, I'll tell you that. It's looking better than it was, at least. It wasn't my favorite side quest I've ever done. It's just fixing something you wish never broke in the first place. All in all, I left it better looking than when I found it. Made major improvements to our electrical here, made it safer, significantly so. I'm pretty happy with things.
And I'm trying to think of other life updates for you outside of just like us working on the house. I mean, it's summer, of course, so we've been doing a lot of fun summer in Vermont activities. Getting after going to some beautiful swimming holes, of course, which is like pretty much the best part of living in Vermont in the summer. We've been using our grill a lot, having some grill nights, cookout nights. There's nothing like those grill nights. What do they say in Ride, my favorite podcast? Oh, they say there's nothing like those pork nights, which I actually don't eat pork, even though I started eating all other meat. But yeah, I've just been like cooking and we've been hanging out. Finley's been doing some like grill master chefing it up, which has been so nice. Because actually last Father's Day, he got the grill. But I was pretty early postpartum, and I feel like we were just kind of like in our baby bubble last year around this time. I mean, we were like doing little outings here and there, but definitely not as like busy as we are this summer with our very busy toddler who's doing incredible. Corvidia is over a year old now. She's 14 months. I always try to lead with the year instead of the months because people will be like, oh, it's so annoying when parents are like, oh, my baby's 27 months now or something. And it's like, yeah, I get that. Anyway, I've just been doing all my busy bee stuff, same old, same old. My online work mixed with teaching Zumbini and then volunteering / really coordinating now for the community closet that I work for. So that's been really nice. And yeah, it started as like volunteer stuff and then sort of transitioned to more of like a coordination role over the past few months. So just like coordinating other people's volunteer shifts and doing bigger organizing tasks and making sure that we have everything that we need and doing specific casework or making deliveries and picking stuff up and finding new shelving systems and doing all of our like social media and graphic design and all that kind of stuff. So I've been very busy with that. And then, you know, just mom life as well. It's been keeping me busy for sure. And I've been making so many fun new recipes, which you'll see some of in this video. Hell, let's make one right now, shall we? I saw this on Violet Witchell's Instagram story, just like this little peach salad, and I said, that looks incredible. Why not make that? I have all those ingredients. So I'm just cutting up 3 peaches, a bunch of basil, and adding that all to my big salad bowl. Well, it's a big mixing bowl, but you know, it's gonna be a giant salad just for me, pretty much. And then I'm just drizzling on some honey. You could totally do without the honey, honestly, for this recipe. I don't really like overly sweet stuff, and I just sort of was like, why not? She said to include it, but it definitely didn't need it. At least I didn't think so. And then just adding some flaky sea salt, one of my fave ingredients, and then adding in a bunch of ricotta cheese. but I really should have cut it off here. Look at me. I put on another dollop. Like, who do I think I am? Also, I don't have balsamic glaze like she did, but I do have this fig balsamic salad dressing, so I added that. And that made it sweet too, so that's why I say probably no honey. But maybe I should get some balsamic glaze. Anyway, too much cheese, but loved the salad. It was fantastic. And because I'm outside right now, I'm trying to think of other outdoor updates for you. We've been having a lot of fires, some bonfires in our old new fire pit. New to us this season because we've only been using it for the first time at this house this season, because last year we were using a fire pit in our backyard, which kind of made no sense, we realized, because we were like, we have to huff it down a hill and back up a hill, especially for like grilling down there and stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. This is much closer to our front door and we can access the kitchen a lot easier. And so we relocated. And this fire pit was like the one that already was at the house, and then the other one we put in. So it's nice to have two until we like do more outdoor landscaping in the back and have different plans for that area. And quite honestly, it's been a minute since we've had a fire, just because it's been kind of dry here. It was supposed to rain today and then it never did. And I was just over at my neighbor's house and I was asking about how her garden's doing, because mine is looking crispy. My herb and flower garden over there, it's just like, yeah, it needs a little TLC. And we just need some rain. And it's so weird because it was raining so hard for like a week straight, and then it's like no rain since, but that's life. But yes, certain herbs in the garden are popping off right now, specifically my thyme, which I need to harvest in this video, and all of the spearmint and some parsley. And we have a bunch of stunning lilies right now.
Lily! Lily!
Oh, also, where I spend most of my days these days, especially with Corvidia, is in the freaking baby pool. It's a baby pool summer. It has been for weeks. It's glorious. We just have this like collapsible, not inflatable baby pool that we got at like Ace Hardware or something like that. And then my cousin, for Corvidia's birthday, got her a little like play slide situation. And we've been having a lot of fun splashing around in there, sliding. It's so exciting. Oh no, the Zumbini's coming out. I got one more week of Zumbini when I'm filming this at least, and so then I don't know what I'll be doing after that. I teach in sessions. The last time I taught for 9 weeks, and then for my summer session now that I'm almost through with, it's been 6 weeks of classes, and that's honestly been really nice because people are traveling a lot, and summers are just like a busy time to commit to a whole extended period of, you know, going for what, 9 weeks to some class with your kids. So that's been going really well. Honestly, like way better than I could have ever imagined. I normally have like 15 people at classes now, compared to my last session, which had more like maybe 6 people coming consistently. And I was just getting my feet wet in the Zumbini life, trying to figure out what was the best offering for my community. So I'm glad that I stuck with it. That's been cool. And also just bringing me like a significant amount of joy, just like teaching children and having so much fun doing it. It's like dancing and playing little instruments and singing songs and learning basic Spanish and stuff like that. And then also in this video, I'm gonna show the like siding rot aftermath.
I'm a huge fan of this ladder. Got it for like $100 on sale, and it's been great. From what we can tell, the water actual issue is running off from this roof. And since none of this is flashed right or done right, and this siding was already missing, at least a board of it was, right at this window level there was siding. So I think that missing board was leading the water to catch, run along the wall, and then seep back behind that siding, creating all that rot. So I think I'll probably do some sort of temporary flashing situation where I just fold an L, a slanted L, and then shove it right up there above the door, so it catches the water that drips off that roof there. Because that comes all the way off that roof, hits that roof, collects, comes down. And then I'm just gonna create some flashing to just shoot that out and over and get some distance. And that should be a good enough temporary measure until we get the house re-sided, which we're trying to do this year. I was able to run a 3-wire there because eventually we'll have a deck and lights here, and we have a switch right there, and we're gonna wanna end up putting a switch over by this door as well, because the deck will span between that area. All that rot ended up forcing me to open up those walls, and while they were open, I was able to add a 3-way switch to be able to make the basement lights work, and you know, the top and bottom of the stairs, and then future deck lights, which for either of those reasons I would have had to open up the wall. So kind of fixed some other things, made the house safer, fixing some electrical issues. So all worthwhile. It's not fun to have to do with these side quests like this necessarily, but it's worthwhile, I'd say. So the last steps here, got some rock wool. That's what I prefer to do. It's not the cheapest way, but I wouldn't do it if I was insulating the whole house, just for these patches that I do. Also, fiberglass, I thought it was a lot cheaper than rock wool, but it seemed pretty price competitive when I was at the store buying it last. So rock wool, I feel like definitely works better. You get a tighter fill. I think it holds up in the wall cavity better over time. It's better soundproofing, not that that matters here. Rock wool is better fireproofing too. Environmentally, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna wear a dust mask, PPE, very important. So just to show you the final, I just slapped the piece of plywood that was up here back on. I had to cut a new hole here for the double switch. This is where the switch was, which is really oddly high up. So, I lowered it down and then screwed the piece I cut out over to block the single switch slot there. And then I have a bunch of electrical connections in here. You're supposed to have those in accessible boxes. I've emphatically said do not screw here because a bunch of wires run down right there. Just have to finish the drywall upstairs, but problem is basically dealt with.
We realized, and Finley said this in the Patreon vlog, that we can't put off replacing our siding for another season. We are just getting after it with trying to find quotes from different siding companies and just, price comparing and seeing what material would be best for us, because we really don't want to do vinyl because it's plastic. And it just really hurts my heart to think about siding our entire house in plastic and that not biodegrading when we leave. But then again, wood siding has so much upkeep. So then we were thinking about doing aluminum siding that would just be painted, horizontal boards and not be super shiny aluminum. And that would be at least recyclable. Gosh, these decisions are so hard. I mean, we have a metal roof, so we're like, oh, maybe we'll do metal siding. And I hear good things about hardy board too. And honestly, we did consider hardy board significantly before we moved into this house. We thought that that would be the main siding that we would do. And now I just don't know. Also, our house in some areas, because it's so monotonous, we want to break it up and do two different, we want to do horizontal boards around the whole house, and then maybe on the upper part of the wing where the house breaks, do either board and batten or cedar shakes or something like that. But along with the siding replacement, we're not just gonna have the boards replaced, we're also gonna take them all off, re-house wrap, re-insulate underneath it. So it's going to be a hefty ticket. I actually made an entire video for Patreon as well that was basically going over all of the renovation costs for 2023 and 2024, because we're coming up on 2 years of living at this house, which is so crazy to think about. But time flies when you're having fun, and also banging your head into a wall with all of the things that the previous owner did here. Oh, yeah, it's been a real journey. But honestly, I mostly just laugh when I'm editing the footage of Finley back when he finds something that's just so absurd that was a little fix that the previous owner did here, and now we have to deal with those repercussions. But that's just sort of homeowner life unless you're in a new build. Well, the dogs are trying to go inside right now, probably to get their hydration on, and I also need to do that because we just went for a bodaciously long walk to my neighbor's house, and I am the sweatiest Betty right now. It's 88 out. Now it's time to get my hydration on. I have been an avid Element customer for almost 2 years now, and I truly cannot recommend a better electrolyte brand. Element, the sponsor of today's video, created salt stick packets that contain 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium with absolutely no added sugar. There are so many benefits to electrolytes, but I make sure that I'm getting enough sodium in my diet for 2 main reasons. I'm no marathon runner, but I have been nursing for 14 months and counting. With sodium being a key component of breast milk, I relied heavily on electrolytes to increase my milk supply, especially in early postpartum. If you're pregnant or nursing, you may even want to increase sodium intake by a gram or two from the recommended 4 to 6 grams to replace what's going to the child. I also eat a primarily low carb diet, which creates a low insulin state, resulting in more sodium being excreted from the body. So I also need more sodium for that reason, to feel my best and avoid headaches or fatigue. The 8-count Element sample pack has 2 of each of their most popular flavors: citrus, raspberry, which is my personal favorite, watermelon, and orange salt. And as you saw, I usually mix a salt stick into my water bottle and just sip throughout the day, enjoying the flavor as a nice little treat. So if you're in need of some more electrolytes in your life, you can get a free sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase at drinklmnt.com/Meghan Hughes. Find your own favorite flavor or share them with a friend. If you give it a try and don't like it, it's risk-free. Element will give you your money back, no questions asked. If you're not digging it, just give your Element to a salty friend. Again, that's drinklmnt.com/Meghan Hughes, or click the link below to get a free sample pack with any purchase. Thanks, Element. I'm truly obsessed with your work. And then I think that I might start showing you the beginning of our wing renovation.
We had the idea to get a shelf, basically a nice sturdy shelf to replace the wall over there. This wall we've been wanting to get rid of, just to sort of open this as one universal space and maybe extend this out at some point a little bit, put like a large arch entry here. I just want to get rid of this.
This van and his arches.
There is a switch here, so I'm going to have to do some rewiring for that. This thing over here is almost the same length as this wall, so we can still screw this baby gate onto it and still shut this off to split it 50-50 to have a playroom side. Did you want to say anything?
I'm totally naked. So, whoa. So we're gonna be taking this wall down today, huh? I'm probably just gonna practice my Zoom beanie while you do that.
Bro, come here, get in the shot real quick. I'll be doing one toot to blast the whole wall down. This lighting is just infuriating. It's only on these back walls. I actually tilted it up because it used to be facing down, which was a tad bit even worse. Even in lighting like this, it's hard to read on the couch because there is no light towards the couch. When watching television in the evening, if you wanted a light on, there's just a light directly at you above the television. Track lights themselves are just not for me. So I want to bring these up and put like two overheads like this. So my question is basically, is now the time to do that? Which I sort of feel like it probably is. So I might take a look at that too, since I have the power off and I'll be working on the electrical for that stuff. I thought this wire would run through the wall, but it goes through the floor. So, as usual, things are full of surprises. I mean, it makes sense. It's not a bad thing to do. Probably makes more sense than going through the wall.
Okay, Larry, I'm obsessed. I didn't think, obviously, this is all, we're gonna need to move some things around and reorganize this living room afterwards, but I really didn't think that when Finley floated this idea to me, that it would look as amazing as it does. Like just coming in here and seeing this whole space opened up and being able to see over this wall, oh my God. Like I would have just never thought that it would have been so wonderful. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to have this now to store all of our board games because they've just been in our storage room behind here for a very long time. And we're gonna need to move all of this stuff around, and I'm gonna clean this off now, the bookshelf, and start putting the books back. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna put the books back because that is not staying in the center of this room. We're really excited about getting a light, an overhead light on that very dark ceiling, especially one with a fan like in here, because this room not having a fan is truly terrible. We actually do have a fan that we pull in right there and just put on the floor, like if we're watching something on the TV, but that's just a temporary solution. Anyway, this is literally like the best thing that I've seen all week. I mean, I can't even explain my excitement for this. Anyway, I'm gonna put all of the board games back now because this is done. Renovations wise, I'm very excited that we are now focusing on the wing, because once we finish renovating more of the wing, basically our entire downstairs, like the first level of our home, will be in quotes finished. But our renovations ever really finished, but everything will definitely be in way better looking shape than how it was before. And we have some fun little plans in store with expanding certain areas.
I had a bit of a discussion with my wife about this yesterday, and I really believe in myself. You know, I feel like I've made a lot of good decisions for this home, many of which she has not agreed with when I first brought them up. Sometimes because she imagined things a little differently than I mean them. For instance, talking about putting a wall here, she said, what's it going to be like? Just a sheet of drywall right here? Not exactly. It'll be a full wall, you know what I mean? We were discussing whether or not we want to have another little extension wall come out here, similar to the dimension that comes out here. So this whole hallway you know, in quotes, has a really weird shape to it, way too wide a field for what it is. So in the long run, I'm thinking get rid of this door here, make a door into this to be bedroom, in that sort of hallway leading to the stairs into the bathroom, and then bring a little kick-out wall right here. And back here will still be an open space. You know, it'll still be nice not to have this wall right here. You got vision across from the like baby area, TV room, to this sort of around the pellet stove hangout area. I think it's gonna look really nice. It's hard for me to describe exactly why. All I can say is dimensions, shape, feel. This whole space was really wrong. And bringing this wall out.
Okay, I gotta come in here and just say that I wasn't planning to show you guys all of this drywall work until I showed you the full bathroom renovation video in the fall, because where his finger is pointing is where the new bathroom is, like on the other side of that wall. And he redid all of this drywall, brought the wall out to be underneath these like ceiling beams, and then did that new archway. And that archway leads into like a future hallway space that will also lead to the door to the bathroom, and then another door in underneath that archway will lead to the children's bedroom slash playroom. So I'm just trying to help you like understand the space a bit, because I know it can be really hard, but I also wanted to include a clip of what this space used to look like, so you can just see this sort of like monotony of this giant blue carpeted hallway. It was way too big to feel like a hallway, and we're narrowing it now with like bringing out these walls to be underneath these exposed beams. So it just feels like a good idea, honestly, to switch up the space a little bit from being so, yeah, monotonous feeling.
Really helps. It's the first step in fixing the whole vibe of this space. I can't tell you why it works, it just does. But what we need is to bring a wall out right here. And then there will be a sort of inverted alcove space here. And this door shouldn't be here. This door should not be here. And this should be like a table and chairs, some furniture, stuff like that. And there will still be a plenty larger than normal hallway here, straight shot from the door into this whole wing across to this way. That wire is to the switch for the fan light that I'm gonna put in here. And putting a wall here will also give me a nice place to put a switch. So I'm excited. Shouldn't take me long to do this wall, except for the finishing and painting, which sucks, but I'm about to frame it real quick. All right, we got things in gear here. Got it screwed in, got some electrical set up here, so I can show you the diagram. It looks a little messy, but it's a line coming up here. Gonna put an outlet here, switches. This is all gonna be on a 15 amp circuit. This is a 14 gauge wire here. One switch is gonna go to a fan light up there, where you can kind of see that wire sticking out. The other switch is gonna be a dimmer switch and affect those two lights on the wall. Those were already in place, and I just don't see a reason to get rid of them. We can use that as kind of a mood lighting. That's why I want to put the dimmer on there. And I'll just cover this all up with this piece of furniture.
I'm just getting excited thinking about like all of the playroom things and having certain storage systems and lighting fixtures and floor mats and all that kind of like fun baby stuff, because Corvidia is still currently in our room. So that's actually what I really wanted to talk about, is just like the ever-changing list and the totem pole of renovations. It's just constantly shifting, because now that Corvidia is over a year old, we're like, okay, it is high priority for her to have her own space and not be room sharing with us anymore. So just like renovating that space for her to move into has become a new top tier priority for us for renovations, rather than like other things that we've maybe spoken about or I've spoken about in other videos. And I'm honestly just so jazzed. My little wheels are turning in my brain.
Welcome to my trash room. So this one day, maybe even sooner than later, will be a children's room. And I'm only gonna have one kid's room to start. We have the upstairs here, which depending on how long we're in this house, we might expand and make that like a kids level kind of situation. But for the foreseeable future, I'm trying to plan for this to be like a room that we could put at least 2 kids in. You know, it's big enough for that, I'd say. I'll tell you my closet plan from the outside of here. But for now, I'm gonna cut a door into here instead of the door that's over there and use that just as a closet door. And then put another door here for a closet. On the other side of this wall, there's some outlets. So I'm gonna carefully cut this drywall off. This is 8 feet right here, so it'll be easier for me to replace this just with 2 sheets of drywall. And I'm cutting it on studs so that I can screw it on. I'm thinking a door right here. I'm gonna try to match it across where the bathroom door is over there if I can. But for now, I'm just gonna cut this off, remove this, and then that'll give me a better idea of what's, what I'm working with behind there. So I'll show you from the outside. It's kind of a funny story. Originally, there was just a wall like right here, and we were just gonna remove that wall and put in this piece of furniture, which we did do, but it's created this whole cascade of additional things that now I want to do here. So that's the hall to the bathroom. This is that first wall I'm putting in, and this is the door to the blue room as it is. Instead of just having this random wall butt out, I'm going to add a new wall also here, but rather than destroying this wall and just making this a bigger room, I'm going to use this as a closet space. So this will be like kid number one's closet door, and then I'll just leave this all open, but I'll put another door here that's like kid number two's closet door. That wall comes out to the edge of these things. So to give this whole space more dimension, this wall will come out and box out here. This will be like a little widened entry point to this hall. And then, yeah, I think it'll be great. So, unfortunately, that's a bit more of a detour. Not really a detour. I would hardly call this a side quest. This is a pretty main quest item for me, at least in the region of the wing. So, yeah, the factions here want me to do that, and it's for a pretty good reason. Corvidia's not getting younger, and she's not getting smaller. I think that this was, God's way of kind of redirecting me, maybe to doing what's more important. Because we got a brand new bathroom, so it's like, do we really need 2 brand new bathrooms in a row? Or maybe we can just be happy with one for now, still have a second functional one. The other thing is that we're gonna get this whole hall painted, the wood stained and stuff like that from prior water damage. And then the same thing over here, this looks like shit. So we're gonna get actual professional real life painters, because I'm not that good at painting and I don't really enjoy it, and they will paint this whole wing. But first, I want to get this wall in here, and that's not too much drywall, so I'll probably just do that. We're still, discussing the finer points of what colors to do. I think we're gonna do white for the ceiling. I mean, I do like it wood, so maybe we could do a dark stain or something like that. But anyways, like I said, we're still discussing all that. And I would like to do a color in here, I think that a nice light, not quite white, but something else would be nice. The kids' room is a hideous blue, so that will also get repaired. And then we'll maybe do a different color for, the playroom / TV room back there. And then the last step is going to be putting down a new floor, because we got a nice floor back there, and the carpet in that living room or playroom area is fine, but this is not fine. So it's adding up to quite a bit, but we'll get it done. Doing the trim, stuff like, it's gonna be a lot.
Hey, I'm not naming names or anything, but when I was clearing off the memory card just now, some of us might have just deleted everything that was filmed today on accident.
You did?
It could have been anybody. I don't know if it was me or...
You know who's really that sad for is you, because I filmed it absolutely hilarious. I filmed it just for you.
Anyway, this is where we're at right now. He ripped up the blue carpet here, which was really a glorious sight to see. Just have to put in the studs.
What did the homeowner say to his wall? At least I can always lean on you. Lean on me when you're not down. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. But some of y'all might be thinking, darn Finley, that's a bug-ass hole. Well, at the Home Depot, they only had 36-inch doors of the kind I wanted. There may come a day where I'm trying to move some furniture in here, and I think to myself, damn Finley, that was a hell of a decision to make such a wide door. It's so much easier to move this bed frame in here now, or bookshelf, or dresser. Well, after some hard talks with my wife, we're gonna go ahead and return the 36-inch door, go with the 32-inch instead. I was told things like, it is really big, it looks more like a front door, I guess it's fine. And frankly, it's not that hard to fix, really. I don't think I'll even need to patch this drywall if I'm lucky. I think the door trim will just kind of cover that, I hope, at least. We'll see. But even if I did have to patch it, you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. Alright, so I'm really just my mind is racing right now. I'm trying to figure out how to approach this. Some of you may know my dachshund has beautiful symmetry. I love that about her. I mean, I'm a symmetrical person. I like symmetry sometimes. But in a living space, asymmetry is actually really beneficial. It makes things not feel like communist concrete blocks and like they actually have life and personality to them. What I'm thinking now is I framed out this whole wall, as you can see behind here, some stick frame. My original plan was to do a second closet door here. Then I've got an even closet split between the kids. That's fair, you know, that's equitable. It's also a little boring. I mean, if I was a kid, would I want to live in a square box with two equal doors leading to equal boring closets? I'll be honest with you, I think the answer is no. So now I'm thinking, cut the wall off right here, framed out a little something so this was an enclosed closet still. It could still be equitable. I mean, one kid uses one half, the other kid uses the other half. That's good enough for most people, I would think. And then there's a cool little nook here. This wall would just be gone, and then there'd be like additional space into where I extended the room. And then you could put like a couch there, or like a bean bag, whatever kids do. I'm thinking about it because this room's not that big, frankly. And like 2 beds there, well, I'd show you, but it's full of shit. 2 beds there is gonna take up with like nightstands. I mean, that's a lot of real estate in this box. You don't need that much closet space. That's something you do when you're older, is buy too many clothes. So I'm thinking this could be a good idea. I haven't run it by the wife, so that's a big hurdle. She usually doesn't like my ideas when she first hears them. That's a little thing about Megan. She always looks at me like, really? You think that's a good idea? I don't know. That wasn't our plan before. And she comes around, and then she's usually happy with what I do. That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm not going to do anything crazy right now. I'm going to run it by her first. But I think it would make this room feel a lot cooler. Geez, you know what would be even dope? I probably won't do this, but it would be a really cute idea for a kid's room, is to cut this wall out. And then since there's all that bright window, all that big door and brightness out there, to put a cute little window in the wall with like a drape or something, so they could open it and see the spy out in the hallway and see who was walking by and stuff. That would be so cute. Maybe I will do that. But I like thinking outside the box, you know, and I do think about like, oh, I'll probably sell this house one day, so I shouldn't do anything too crazy. But more and more, I'm like, I should do whatever the fuck I want, you know? I care what I like and my wife likes. That's also important, because as I've said, happy wife, happy life. I mean, I don't know. Look at this closet. You're walking in here, you're like 3 years old, 6 years old, however old kids are. There's a prettier curtain here in the future, and my walls aren't blue. I'm going in. You can hang clothes here, stuff on the bottom, dresser here. And then you're like, oh, that could be one giant closet for my sibling, or we could share the smaller closet. And this could be like, there could be like a wall, and then that wall wouldn't exist. So this would be like a cozy nook. And then like with this post here, you'd even have like a little nook space right here. I don't know, kids like that kind of stuff. They're not boring like adults. And this is what I'm saying, it'd be cute to like have a little window here that would then bring in the light from there. But actually imagine this now. In the center of that stud, a nice stained glass moon that's dark enough and stuff that it's not see-through. So still privacy, but lets the daylight in. Maybe even like a moon and a sun or something like that. God, that'd be so fucking cute. Whew, boy. I even have met some stained glass artists out here. Actually, our friend does stained glass, so I think I'm really onto something. I won't lie to you. That's a really freaking cute idea. A little reading nook, you know what I mean? With the bean bags.
Okay, folks, me and Mr. Larry are here now hanging out. He's just cuddling between my legs, and I have realized that wearing all black with a dog who's light colored and sheds is definitely a choice, but it's a choice I made today. And also, just wanted to say, hope you enjoyed this video. We are very excited about going about more of these renovations for the playroom and wing and all of that sort of a thing. And there's a lot to do, like Finley said, especially with finding, then hiring out painters and finishing the trim and cutting out walls, which he's started to do. But I'll probably just update you in a future vlog, because this one's already pretty long. We showed a lot of separate renovations, and I loved when Finley reminded us of where we started. Like, the original plan for this wing was literally just to take down that small little wall and put in that bookshelf that now has all of our board games on it and puzzles and stuff. And then we were like, what if we just continued to renovate the wing? And it just seemed like a great idea, so here we are. And also, I wanted to say that in other vlogs, like for the bedroom renovation or the bathroom renovation that you're gonna see in a couple of months, whenever that footage is done, I think that for this renovation for the wing, I'm just gonna update you in vlogs and maybe also do that same thing for the playroom / children's bedroom, because it can be a little bit overwhelming when Finley films like almost 20 hours hours of footage, and then I have to sift through it while also balancing everything else in my life, you know, and trying to stay consistent with like other videos, and then having this sort of like looming big project in the background. So that's why I say, you know, that is impending to be uploaded in a couple of months. But I don't know how many like dedicated room renovation videos I'm gonna be putting up in the future. I honestly think that I prefer just showing them to you in vlogs. At least that's just how I'm feeling right now. And maybe that will change and you'll see another room renovation in the future. But yeah, I don't know. We change our minds all the time. And that's what's so great about actually updating you in the vlogs, because like you can see this process of, oh, we're just gonna put in this little tiny wall, and then, oh no, we're gonna put in a full framed wall, and all of these various decisions about putting in the like stained glass window, like a beanbag nook. I love how passionate he was about the freaking beanbags. It's incredible. Anyway, yes, I did green light that idea, and we are working. I'm like staring at that area right now, and we're working towards getting that in tip-top shape so we can hire painters, so we can have them come and finish all the slabs of drywall. And then we really have to reconsider all of the trim and what color we're gonna paint this room and all that kind of stuff. So I will have more updates coming for you down the line, but just wanted to start sharing all of this now. And this video was significantly heavy on the Finn cam, but honestly, it's been a while since he's been on this channel, so I hope you enjoyed it and my little pop-in updates in between. I planned for more recipes to be in this video, and then I was just like, no, we'll just share the peach salad and move on, because I also felt like in the past few videos I've been cooking like so much, and maybe people don't like that stuff. Like maybe they're just here for the home renovation content. Honestly, people are just here for a variety of reasons. Whether you've watched me since like 2012 and still are watching me now and you're just like, whatever, I just watch anything you put up. There's also some people who are like, I found you from your house buying video and I like the home updates and the renovation footage. And then there's some people who would prefer the cooking videos. Anyway, I'm just yapping your ear off now, but I just wanted to end off this video, say I love you so much. Check out the Patreon for extra content, and I will see you in my next one. Stay smiling. Bye, y'all. Honestly, I'm probably gonna see you sooner rather than later, because we're gonna have a lot more updates to come on this space.